so factual that it's just ludicrous to consider anything else. And that's why, Vaishnavacharyas get angry sometimes against the Mayavadis, because they feel offended. And you're saying that Maya Krishna, with whom I have a direct relationship, has no eyes, has no ears, has no arms, has no forms, just an impersonal with white light. So therefore you have these heavy statements. I wish I could speak more. We're almost done. I wanted to bring up a little about what we're speaking, the purport, the notion of going back to Godhead versus coming back life after life after life. I'll speak a little bit about it. Is that okay? Even though in this purport Prabhupada claims and says, and the verse says that the highest devotion is Mama Janmani Janmani Shware, there are instances in which our acharyas, Srila Prabhupada, and even verses from the Bhagavatam describe a desire to go back to Godhead as being totally bona fide. So in other words, it's not so bad if one day you think, oh Krishna, I just want to go back to you, I just want to go back to the spiritual world. And you can't just like get down on yourself and, oh, shame on you. No, only pure devotion. How much I mean? No, it's okay. It's actually desirable to want to go back to Godhead. And the example is in the first canto, for example, in the story of Narad Muni. The description of Narad Muni is going through different villages, and after his mother died, and in the purport to the verse where Narad Muni speaks about, well, I'll read it to you. Narad Muni says, thus I began chanting the holy name and fame of the Lord by repeated recitation, ignoring all the formalities of the material world. Such chanting and remembering of the transcendental pastimes of the Lord are benedictory. So doing, I traveled all over the earth, fully satisfied, humble, and unenvious. And in the purport to that, Prabhupada starts by saying, the life of a sincere devotee of the Lord is thus explained in a nutshell by Narad Muni. So, a nutshell, you want a description of a devotee in a nutshell? Here it is. Narad Muni takes very seriously the chanting and traveling and preaching. And then Prabhupada says something very interesting. He says, such devotees have no desire for material gain. They are conducted by one single desire, to go back to God. This awaits them in due course on quitting the material body. And Prabhupada said, I just want to go back to Krishna and eat ladus with him. Have you heard that one before? Yes? No? So, just a short point. It's okay to want to go back to God. It's actually healthy. And we should desire that. And the conclusion of the scriptures is that Krishna does take us back to God. When the devotee lives his life or her life in devotional service, he or she may have this mood of Mama Janmani Janmani Shwari Bhavatapati Rahituki, but the scriptures conclude that Krishna himself does take the soul back to God, which is good news for us. So, in conclusion, for us practitioners of Krishna consciousness who may not have yet realized Krishna fully, or at least our Swarup, etc., what's our state? So I'm speaking for myself. Well, again, the only thing that can be said is we just have to keep going on with the process. And what else can we do? And we have the hope, and work now, samadhi later. And we have the hope, the faith, that as we continue our chanting of our rounds attentively, serving the Vaishnavas, and assisting Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spreading of the Sankirtan Yajna around the world in one form or another, by that activity, Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhu Kavunoi Shravanadi Shuddha Chitti Karayudar. that pure love of Krishna, which will give us so much satisfaction that we really won't want to merge into the white light, will naturally develop. It'll naturally reawaken. And fortunately, Krishna is so kind, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is so kind that even in the imperfect state or unripe state that we're in, performance of the Sankirtan Yajna does give a lot of happiness, a lot of satisfaction. And all of us have had the experience of being in an ecstatic kirtan and just experiencing Golokera, Premanana, Harinam, Sankirtan. And by helping spread this Sankirtan Yajna, one experiences all the more joy, all the more happiness. And as a matter of fact, it's by doing that one receives extra mercy. And that's what we're all about in Krishna consciousness. Therefore, Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur says, Yata yata gaura padara vinde vinde tu bhakti krita punya rashi tato sarpati ridya kashmat radha padam boja shudam borashi. This is the verse that the Bhakti Swami quotes a lot, in which Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur, who's the one who says that that impersonal liberation is hellish. In this verse, he says, to the degree that one gets attached to Lord Chaitanya, that means Lord Chaitanya's activities of spreading Krishna consciousness, because spreading Krishna consciousness is inseparable from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. To the degree that one becomes absorbed and attached to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to that degree, simultaneously, one will realize that all of a sudden, akashmat in Sanskrit means all of a sudden, one's heart has become inundated with the nectar that is emanating from the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani. So, we want the higher taste, we want to reestablish our connection with Krishna, we want the highest ecstasy. Well, we're in the right place. We're performing the Sankirtan Yajna, we're chanting and spreading the chanting. That will bring all perfection. That will bring all perfection. So, thank you very much for your patience. I'll tell one Rupa Goswami Lila, if I may. I asked Radha Manishwar Prabhu for a pastime of Rupa Goswami, and he said, "I'll tell this one." So this is a short one that we can meditate on during the day. And we all know it, but it's always sweet to remember it. It was Sanatana Goswami's Vyasa Puja birthday. Rupa Goswami wanted to cook a particular feast for his older brother, and he wanted to cook sweet rice. He didn't have the ingredients. And all of a sudden, incidentally, a most beautiful young lady walked to him and said, "Baba, please, some milk, some rice, some sugar. This is for you." So Rupa Goswami said, "Thank you." And then he cooked this sweet rice and offered it to Sanatana Goswami. And when Sanatana Goswami tasted that sweet rice, he got really angry, because he knew that sweet rice had been, the ingredients at least for the sweet rice had been given by none other than Srimati Radharani. So he chastised Rupa Goswami, it's described as such, and he said, you accepted service from Srimati Radharani, our business is to serve Srimati Radharani. How could you? So like that, Rupa Goswami, most exalted soul, has these super intimate feelings of Srimati Radharani. We're like zillions down the line, and we just have to serve our immediate guru and gurus and Vaishnavas, chant our rounds peacefully and attentively, and spread the chanting, spread the Yuva Dharma. We'll get there one day. Hare Krishna. Sorry I went over time by 5 minutes. Maybe if there's any question, except one.